And that was Richard Branson,
Yeah.
who I ended up spending 3 days on his island, Necker Island, with.
Reach. Give us your elevator pitch. What is Reach?
Got a job on what I think is still one of the most beautiful boats in the world. It's not a crypto project. That's you're building a virtual yacht club. So she was the one that really coined it. And that is, we're very tech first. Three-time Olympic sailor Luke Patience.
Yes.
And you could have a video call with Novak Djokovic.
Hi and welcome to another episode of the Yacht Show. This is Browns International, your boutique brokerage company, coming to you with this very special guest. As you know, we like to promote the new things in the marine and leisure industry and the marine industry overall. And we're delighted today to be joined by a pioneer of a brand new company, bringing some new flavours to the marine industry. I am delighted to introduce Matt Hardy from Reach, a good friend, but also operating a brand new type of company within the marine industry. So Matt, first of all, please introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, thank you very much, Spencer. I think that was a potentially overly kind introduction, but I
could have gone more flattering, but
I'll take it. I'm blushing. No, that's great. So Matt Hardy, founder of Reach. We've recently launched as our first boat show, so it's all very exciting times for us.
Awesome. That first moment.
It is, yeah. We came in here a bit eyes wide open, no idea what's going to happen, and feeling our way into it. It's actually been really fun, really successful. I'm very, very happy to be sat here with you.
Great stuff. Thank you.
It's been a long journey getting here of sorts. I think you mentioned a bit about myself in the past. So
it
was never my intention to be doing anything like I'm doing right now, as is often the case.
I
guess.
Yep.
Usual. Got into boating very young, when my father bought me a topper for passing the grammar school test, which is
awesome.
Not sure how I managed that in itself, but got the topper and then got into sailing age 11 and had did a lot of serious sailing over the years and from world championships and all over the world, which was great. And then went to university with the intention of going to work in London as a stockbroker or something like that, like everyone does.
Yeah, the dream.
The dream, exactly. and then a friend of mine who was captain on a 60-foot Swan asked me to help him sail the boat across the Atlantic. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea before I go to London.
The big adventure.
Why not? On the Arc race in 2002, sorry, I think it was. Quite a long time ago. Did that. And on the way across, I was like, sorry, Nigel, do people give you money for this? And it turns out they did. And I thought, well, why not? So I got to the Caribbean and thought, this is what I'm going to do just for a year or two. And so then it went from there.
A little bit longer.
Job on, it was, apparently so. Got a job on what I think is still one of the most beautiful boats in the world, Cambria. I know we're on a motorboat today, but Cambria's, I think it's a 1924 classic.
Piece of pedigree.
Oh my God. If you see it now, it's still in Saint-Tropez. Beautiful. But I was the lowest of the low. Turns out not very good at being told what to do, as you probably know from my character.
Now that makes me laugh.
Well with me. So that didn't go as well as it could have done, but it went brilliantly. But because I wasn't very good at being told what to do and over a sense of ego, I suppose, inflated ego, my next job straight after that, age 23, was as a captain. So I sort of talked my way into a position that I had no real right to be in, but I did it, and that went well. So then ended up as a captain in the yachting industry for many moons. I checked out for a while. Started a charter brokerage and planned to move ashore. But they say, it's the Hotel California. You check out but never leave.
Once this industry gets in your blood,
I know,
that is it.
I got a call from a previous owner who was building a 35-meter Baltic, which was still Nikata. Again, one of the most beautiful boats in the world.
Really sweet.
And so I couldn't really turn down that offer. So got back into boating, did that for a few years, and then finally hung up the sailing gloves, as it were. And and after doing a few other bits and pieces, started getting into Reach. And
obviously you're still competitively sailing now as a hobby, but Reach has taken over. So Reach, give us your elevator pitch. What is Reach?
The elevator pitch. What we found at this show is it needs to be a very long elevator. I don't know where we're going with this one, but we've built
Burj Khalifa style, or?
Exactly. Slow. So what it is it's a virtual members club in essence, and it's targeted at anyone with any interest in boating. We myself and my fiance have a boat in Mallorca, in Poole or two, and we find it's a small Boston whaler and a fishing boat. I think you know it,
Yeah,
very well.
Yeah,
as
indeed.
most people in Poole do.
Yeah,
and we find benefit from that. But as you know, I'm a super yacht captain, previous super yacht captain, so it's to appeal to everyone, from boat owners to yacht crew to and anyone in the middle, really. And I think we've built a genuine value proposition for that, with a great collection of services and experts, and so it's knowledge, it's shopping, it's everything you really need to enter the boating industry or be in the boating industry.
I think it's quite although those constituent parts are already established to a certain extent in the marine industry, I think your concept for what you've done is to bring them all together and offer a one-stop shop for members with a collection of things. So they might need one or two of these things, but not everything. But the great thing is it's there for them. How did the concept come about?
Well, I think that the idea is we're very tech first, firstly. So though elements of it have been done before, I think we've approached it from a tech first perspective, where a lot of it, we do recruitment. We have a great recruitment platform. We do charter. We do shopping. We have this pool of experts. The experts is actually quite unique. We'll talk about that in a bit. But because we're not really actually doing any of those. What we are is a community. So what we want is just people to join. And so because we are all these things, but we're not, it means we can do them a bit differently, with a different focus, a different business model. And I think it really does make sense. I think whatever you're interested, we have created something that I think will genuinely help. And because it's tech first, essentially we are a tech platform. It's quite slick, I think.
But it's nice that everyone can come together on that platform and see the variety you've made happen. I think my question about where the concept came from, I think it's more about how did you bring all those things together, and what was the kind of eureka moment? How did it all come about?
True. So first came, it's actually a friend of mine, Sarah Hornby, who's a marine artist. She came to me. I was doing a lot of cryptocurrency stuff. And she asked me in early 2023 if I could help her sell her art as NFTs, which is a great idea, but a little bit late. In 2021, you could turn an NFT to any bit of art into an NFT, and some idiot would buy it. To be honest,
it was all over the place.
It was great, and so she was just a little bit too late for that. So I said, look, Sarah, it's not going to work. No one's going to buy it for any serious amount of money. However, if we start adding utility onto the NFT, so the initial idea was maybe we could work with some brands. So we're now working with some great brands, as you know. So but let's try and get some brands. So if you hold this NFT, you get favorable offers or whatever it might be. And then we thought, okay, it's a community. So let's have this NFT will give you access to a community. And then we started bolting on layers and layers of utility or value to this NFT. And it was actually Melissa, my other half, when I was sat in my office beavering away. She looked at me and said, that's not a crypto project. That's you're building a virtual yacht club. So she was the one that really coined it. And that was sort of that, you said the eureka moment. That was sort of that, we are. So so very quickly.
So it kind of evolved at that moment.
Yeah, almost in that moment.
Crystallize and became the idea of Reach.
100%. So suddenly we went from thinking of it as one thing to something totally different, but it was still very conceptual at that point. And then later in 2023, you probably remember, I sadly got diagnosed with prostate cancer. Which is at a very young age, 42. And these things have a way of reframing your perspective on everything.
You focus on life then, don't you?
100%. So I was everything else I was doing in the past was at that point rather was it was really fun, but I wasn't really building anything for the future for my daughter and my family. So and obviously with the idea of Reach battering around my head, it really felt like that was the moment to go, you know what, let's just, you've got all these ideas, let's focus on it. It all makes sense in there. Let's see if we can make it make sense in reality. So from that point on, it just totally dropped everything else within reason and started focusing on Reach. And then it was beginning of 2024. We got the designers in house and then the developers. And then it all went. Last year was just total full steam ahead. And
I got to say, your software, your online presence is a really good website. It really, excuse the pun, but reaches out.
I know.
It really does. When you're on it, you can feel it. And we're going to come on to the experts in a minute. But just the very fact of their little kind of statements on the website and the warm pictures makes you feel like these people are going to guide me in my next steps of whether it's, like you said, recruitment or charter or racing or whatever, or a career in the marine industry, it really does make you feel like you engage with it. So it's a real good credit to yourself. And obviously that took a long time to get right.
It does, yeah. It's one of those things that the simplest solutions require the most amount of thought, and to get it feeling slick and looking sick and acting slick. Yes, it took a lot of time, but really lucky to have found some wonderful people to work with on the design side, on the dev side.
Yeah,
and yes, fortunately they managed to buy into the idea as well. So I think
brilliant.
that's the beauty of it, is sort of getting. I'm not a designer, far from it, not a creative bone in my body really. I'm certainly not a dev, but it's just, just working with the right people, and as they say, surround yourself by people considerably better.
Very people orientated in every way, and empowering them. Members, how do they join? How do they go about it, and what's their benefits?
Well, we've made it very easy to join. So we've got an app, and on both Android and Apple, and the desktop. And we've got 2 tiers of memberships. We've got free membership, which allows you access to elements, and then the full membership, which you can either pay monthly or on an annual subscription. And we really like to think through all the benefits we have. Nearly everyone, or arguably everyone who joins, should easily be able to pay themselves back financially, but a lot more than that. It's the knowledge, it's the access,
gateway into a community of all those things.
It doesn't really exist. For example, you touched on the experts there. We've got this wonderful pool of experts, which is growing. We've actually got 2 new ones that we're going to announce next week, which is really exciting. But the ones we've got everything from 3-time Olympic sailor Luke Patience.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if you saw yesterday that we had Amanda Beaver.
Yes,
and Annie Lush.
Brilliant,
top medic, and a round the world sailor and Olympian as well in terms of Annie. And someone said it the other day. It's like, when they looked at it, it'd be like if you're a tennis player and you could have a video call with Novak Djokovic and get tips from him, because it's not like these are coaches or has-beens. They are the most relevant people at this point,
with real life experiences and 100%. Success experiences that they can share.
Awesome. And
like
we've got a girl who's one of the top of the Met Office, and she's also done round the world sailing, Libby Greenhow. And so our members can call up Libby and pick her brain and planning crossings. And so I think between the pool of it, you can get knowledge that you can't find anywhere else.
Great, a plethora of and a gamut of knowledge. Absolutely fantastic.
So I was saying, then there's so many other, I could go on all day, as you probably can tell, but we've got a brilliant network of brand partners. For example, Musto we work with, North Action Sports, and our members get great discounts on their products. And and again, it's just it financially pays for itself, and that list is growing all the time. And I think with the idea being, if whatever anyone needs, we'll have a solution. We're not a directory when it comes to the brands. We're not going to have numerous brands offering the same thing. We want to have a solution that we really believe in. We back, and it's a best solution, or one of the best, at a great price, and it's sort of a real no-brainer. So it's like people don't have to think. It's like that one, everything you've got, the community there to support those brands as well. And it's just really easy. We're trying to build a no-brainer, really.
It's great. It's great to see, and I hope that the show has been a great successful launch for you. If you've got one last message to give to people who are potentially thinking about how they go about all the subject matter you've got on your site, what would that message be to the new members?
Well, first of all, I would say you can join as a free member almost instantly. So that's the first step. If you're wondering about it, don't feel you need to join as a full member. Just join as a free member. You can access our chat rooms. You can speak to our membership base, as well as some of our experts will come in and then get a feel for it and just see if it's for you. And then I think you'll be able to get exposed to who we work with, our experts, our brand partners, etc. And I think if it's for you, and we like to think it's largely for everyone, but certainly for most people.
It's really exciting, Matt, and I honestly wish you all the best with it. I know you personally as well, but to see you professionally grow like this, and to see Reach achieving some milestones is fantastic, and I hope it continues to grow. From us at Browns International, that's it from this episode. We thank you very much. I've just got one last question to ask, Matt, actually, which I should. If you're at anchor on a yacht, the sun is high in the sky, you are relaxing, but you can have 3 guests on board for lunch. They can be dead or alive. What 3 personalities would you pick?
Well, there was always a bit of a one that got away in yachting, and that was Richard Branson,
Yeah.
who I ended up spending 3 days on his island, Necker Island, with. I played chess with him. I took him sailing.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And
Did he beat you at chess?
He absolutely annihilated me. I played him twice in the Crow's Nest.
Yeah.
The first
awesome.
game, I don't get that nervous, but I got very nervous.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment, to be quite honest. And the second game, I nearly had him because he was so confident going into it, and he was like, I would have bet my entire fortune on this game, and I think you're going to win. He just got me in the end. So that was a shame. So I'd like to have him.
Yeah.
I'd like to have another go. I'm sure he'd still beat me. And after that, he really wanted me to run his catamaran, and for one reason or other, I just said no. Details.
Yeah.
These things happen. Another one, I mean, obviously at the moment he's a bit divisive, but Elon Musk, I mean,
yes,
you can have it. I mean, anyone right now,
awesome.
You can sit with it. Elon Musk. Who knows where that conversation would go?
Yeah.
The final, I don't know if you know much about my history, but my grandma's a princess, or was princess of the largest state in Burma, the Shan state.
Right.
So her dad was the king of Burma, and there's an amazing amount of family history I embarrassingly don't know enough about. So I would love to, my great granddad, to be the king of the Shan state. To come along so I could learn a bit more about my mum's side of the family. Yeah,
that would be a really, really amazing conversation. Please ensure we're there with our cameras and mics this time. So Matt, many thanks for this. It's been amazing. Like I said, we wish you all the best. Happy rest of the Palmer, happy rest of the year. All the success in the world from Browns International. Thank you.
Thank you, Spencer. Pleasure. Cheers.